So today we're going over how I teach players how to hit their one-handed backhand. Now the first tip that I can give every single one of you is to what? To pretend that you are Roger Federer. If you pretend that you're Federer on court, you're going to hit such a better one-hander. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Try it, see what happens. Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Tennis with Tyler, and today I'm going over step-by-step on how to hit a one-handed backhand. Now, a lot of players, they go back and forth. Should I hit one? Should I hit two? Should I hit one? Should I hit two? It should be a movie, right? It's the number one thing that every single backhander thinks. Now, if you're new to tennis, I would recommend doing a two-handed. All the top players now are what? They're two-handed backhanders, okay? But if you're trying the two-hand and it doesn't work at all, or if you've been playing forever with a one-hander, then go with a one-handed backhand. Or if you just want to try it because, again, you watch Federer, you want to be like him, or Justine Henin. Justine Henin has an amazing one-handed backhand. It's absolutely beautiful. Check it out. Then use this video, okay? So number one with the one-handed backhand is that you need to be sideways, okay? You need to be sideways. Well, of course you need to be sideways for your shot, but here is a big first tip while you're sideways. A lot of players, they just go sideways like this and their racket's here. They have the racket here, they try swing, no leverage, and they end up hurting their arm. You need to be sideways, and then also you need to take your racket back. My body's turned sideways, my racket is back. How do I know my racket is back in the proper position? It's very simple. My strings are facing to the side, the tip of the racket is facing backwards, okay? So again, when I hit this one-handed backhand, I turn sideways, here we are, body's facing the side, strings are facing to the side, tip of the racket's facing backwards. A lot of players, they either take the racket back here, strings are facing forward, tips facing not backwards, or back here, way too far back, right? They load way too much. Now strings are backwards, tip is on the side. So now if I take it way back, I swing all the way around. So again, I want to be here. Now we're going to take this back even more, okay? We're going to give you more power instantly, even if you're picking up this one-handed backhand, all right? We're going to nip it on the butt before it even happens, okay? Here we are. So what you're going to do, this is a huge tip for you, instead of taking your racket back with your dominant hand, okay? When I take this racket back, a lot of players, they take the racket back like this, right? I go for my one-hander, here I take the racket back here. Instead of doing that, I'm going to utilize my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to pull this racket back. There is a big difference. Instead of taking my racket back here, I'm going to utilize my non-dominant hand to pull the racket back here. When I pull this racket back, I want you to notice what it does. It's going to get my whole body involved. And what does getting your body involved do? It helps you rotate. And remember, rotation equals effortless power, effortless control, and effortless consistency. So instead of just going here, I'm going to pull here, I'm going to feel tension, and I'm going to be fully rotated so I can go and hit throughout my shot. Now, the next thing that I have to do is once I take my racket back, okay, by taking it back with my non-dominant hand like this, I want you to notice I have a bent elbow, okay? That's going to help create spacing. Spacing is huge. I want my contact out in front and away from my body. If I take the racket back close to my body, I'm going to make contact close to my body. If I take the racket away from my body, away, you see that elbow's a little bit bent, maybe a 150-degree angle, now I'm going to be able to make contact away from my body. Now the next thing, what you have to do in tennis, there are two things. Number one, you need to hit the ball forward, and number two, you need to hit the ball up over the net. I will say that one more time. You need to hit the ball forward, and you need to hit the ball up over the net. Let's get the ball for you up over the net every single time, okay? You need to take the racket back with the tip facing up and backwards. I said tip facing straight backwards. Now we're going to step number two, tip facing up and backwards. It's on a diagonal line. You want to start with your racket tip up. The reason why is because if you start with your racket tip up, now when you proceed through your swing path, watch what's going to happen. Your racket tip is going to be up, then it's going to be down. That's going to help you get under the ball, and then you're going to be able to lift it up. A lot of players, they start with the racket down and it stays down, or they start with the racket here and they hit on top of the ball. I want to take with the racket up, my elbow's bent, tip is facing up and back, strings are to the side. This is it. Now, when I make contact, I want to make contact out in front and away from my body like I discussed prior. You don't want to make contact here, you don't want to make contact here, you want to make contact out in front, okay? Here is where you want to make contact. So I'm going to take the racket back with my left hand, non-dominant hand, then I'm going to swing forward and I'm going to make contact. Now, while I'm making contact, this is huge. I want you to see my non-dominant hand. Watch what I'm going to do. Racket back, here we are, I make contact, here we are, and look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I am separating my hands, okay? I am separating my hands away from the body. I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds, right? Here we are. So racket back, here we are, and I'm separating my hands from the body. A lot of players, what they do is they either just swing and they swing like this. They're going to use their arm, you're going to hurt your arm, right? Or what do? They take their non-dominant hand up. When I take my non-dominant hand up, I'm going to hit the ball in the net. If I take my non-dominant hand 2 down, I'm going to hit the ball over the fence, all right? You want to take that non-dominant hand straight back, okay? So I want to push this non-dominant hand throughout my shot backwards, okay? Like I'm doing a no good field goal sign. Now, after contact, what I'm going to do? Racket back, contact down front, push it back, and now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish with my racket over here. Now, this is how I teach all one-handed backhanders. Now, you don't have to finish on the left side of the letter V. And remember, left side of the letter V equals consistency. You don't have to do this. You can see players go like this, but this is the easiest, most consistent way to learn the backhand, okay? This is what Steffi Graf used to do, okay? When you swing, racket back, here we are. You go down, here we are, and I swing and I finish here. That's going to help me, A, ensure that I get the ball over the net because my racket's always lifted up, and B, that's going to help me ensure that I'm not swinging around the ball. A lot of players, they swing too much like this or too much like this, they move their wrist too much. Again, so racket back, I'm getting under the ball and I'm finishing up left side of the letter V equals consistency. Now, I'm going to demonstrate it for you and then just try it, see what happens. So here we are, racket back, up elbow, contact down front, left side of the letter V. Again, racket back, up elbow, contact down front, left side of the letter V will get you consistency. So that is how I teach the one-handed backhander. Now, you have to start out with drop feeds. You have to bounce, let yourself self-feed it. Let the ball bounce twice so you have much more time. Then have someone feed the ball to you. Then have someone feed the ball to you, move out to the ball. Then have someone feed the ball to you at the service line. Then have someone feed you the ball at the baseline. Then have someone feed the ball and you move to the ball at the baseline. Then have someone hit it. You have to get the form down easily and have someone right to you rather than just going out using these tips and hitting with someone. It's not going to work, all right? Try to use these tips. Remember, if you think that you're Roger Federer, you're already halfway there. You're going to have a much better backhand. You're welcome. Gave you your money's worth or your time's worth in the first couple minutes. Speaking about giving your money's and time's worth, people spend so much money on tennis lessons. How much do tennis lessons go for? I used to charge like $120, $130, $140 an hour. A lot of players, pros, $80 an hour, a lot of watch hours the guys spend on YouTube instead. Just download my ebooks. I've instantly improved my forehand and instantly improved my serve ebook. All the tips, all the tricks, save yourself the time, the money, the effort trying to improve your game and use all these tips I've taught over 3,000 players in less than 2 years, these tips, okay? 3,000 of variety of players who are 80 years old, never played tennis in their life, players who are 4 years old, and everything in between, okay? These tips work for every single player. That's why I put them in an ebook for you. Make sure to click the link in my description. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Please subscribe. We just hit 20,000 followers, and I'll see you guys next time on court. Have a good one, and happy hitting.